Well, things got heated as the top 7 gubernatorial candidates went at it for 2 hours at a CNN debate.
It's critical time for candidates with ballots out now and just under 4 weeks to Election Day. And they spent this debate trying to appeal to undecided voters without holding back.
I think we should police Donald Trump's masked mercenary force that they call ICE.
The governor of California should hold people accountable who break the laws of California, specifically including ICE agents.
No one has broken the law in California. And this is why we fight in the streets and people are out rioting, burning down Los Angeles, because politicians like this sit and lie to everyone.
It's the job of the governor to protect every single Californian, period. There are no qualifications on that.
Are you doing that? Are you doing that by having a sanctuary state policy? Absolutely not.
Well, a clear divide from Republicans to Democrats. They took many jabs at the one person rising recently in the polls. We're talking about Democrat Javier Becerra. But when it came to the economy and the cost of living, there was even more divide.
Isaac Hale, Occidental College professor of politics, joining us now with his reaction. This is like your Super Bowl, isn't it? You've got all these debates going on.
It's very exciting.
Is it?
It is.
Okay, so with 7 candidates on stage, as we saw last night, 2 Republicans, 5 Democrats, did anybody stand out to you?
I don't think there was a clear winner, and I think it continues a lot of the story of this race so far, which is that Democrats are pretty divided in a really big field. And with California's unusual top 2 system, Democratic voters have to be strategic to avoid the 2 Republicans, Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton, from advancing to the November election.
All right. Well, Isaac, some describe this debate as a slugfest. The candidates, you heard, talking over each other, trading personal attacks. I mean, it is entertaining, we have to admit, right? Did this make or break any one particular candidate's campaign?
I don't think it did. And I think the description as a slugfest is accurate. The candidates were feistier this time around. And part of this is driven by there being so many candidates on stage and them having so little time to talk. They have to get their jabs in if they want to be remembered by voters. I don't think there was a clear winner. There were lots of attacks coming on new frontrunner, Javier Becerra, former HHS secretary. We saw attacks about his tenure as HHS secretary.
Under the Biden administration.
Exactly. We saw attacks about flip-flopping on single-payer health care, particularly coming from Representative Katie Porter. But it's I think it's still anybody's guess who is going to rise to the top in this field, although we see in the polling that there are a few candidates like Steyer, Becerra, Hilton, and Bianco that seem to be sort of in the double digits, whereas a few others like former Representative Katie Porter, Mayor Matt Mahan, former LA Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, who seem to be lagging a little more.
Villaraigosa also feisty last night, too. He came out swinging. Trying to, I think, maybe boost himself a little bit there, right? With Becerra kind of taking a lead in the polling.
He sure was. And I think for those candidates in the single digits, like Porter or like Villaraigosa, they really need a moment. And if last night didn't deliver the key moment that's going to make their campaign, they're going to need to get it tonight.
Okay. Isaac, there was a clear ideological split. We saw Republicans leaning into anti-democratic messaging, Democrats, of course, slamming President Trump. Are they focused enough on California-specific issues that people really care about?
I think that's a great question. I think you did see in the discussion of healthcare, in the discussion around a few other topics, including housing, that there was some California-centric discussion. But there was, I think, a notable absence in the discussion of how the last 8 years under Governor Gavin Newsom went. We got candidates asked to give a one-word response to how they felt about Newsom's tenure, but we didn't really see a real substantive discussion. So hopefully going forward, we'll see more reflection about just how each of these candidates feels about the state of California.
It's kind of a weird position to be in, though, right? Attacking a governor that may be running for president in your same party as you're trying to take his seat.
It's very difficult, and in the current environment, especially with as polarizing a figure as President Trump is, all politics are national.
That's true. Good point.
Okay, another debate tonight. What do they do differently?
Again, I think those candidates who are lagging really need a standout moment. I think you'll continue to see Steyer and Becerra really going after each other. They're really duking it out to see who can make it to the November election. Hilton, one of the Republicans, seems like a near lock to make the second round at this point. So the big question is, which Democrat is going to rise to the top? And Democratic voters are maybe holding off on voting, maybe looking at what's going on and seeing who is it that's going to be best positioned in November.
Okay.
As always.
I know. So much to watch and talk about.
And of course, we'll see you again tomorrow.
I'll be back.
To
We're
talk
making
about
you
what
come
happens
back.
tonight.
All right. Thank you so much. You can find information on the key races and the June 2nd primary on our website. Just head to cbsla.com/votersguide.